Dodgers and Diamondbacks, Game 3, final game of this series before the trip continues on to San Francisco. And before we see today's lineup, we go down to the field with Alana, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. Dave Roberts telling his team in the dugout right now, let's score early, let's score often. Yasiel Puig was yelling happy flight as they tried to win this game and avoid the sweep at the hands of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And if you go back to 2017, it's two very different seasons between regular season and postseason. The Diamondbacks won the regular season, winning the last 8 games. In fact, 5 straight here in Arizona. Arizona swept the last 2 series of the regular season. But in the postseason, we all know what happened in the NLDS. The Dodgers defeating Arizona 3-0. Didn't even let the Diamondbacks come up for air. In fact, all of last year, the Dodgers were only swept 3 times, 2 of those at the hands of these Diamondbacks.
All right, Alana, take a look at Dave Roberts' lineup that'll try and avoid that sweep today. Brought to you by 76. Chris Taylor to lead it off. Then it'll be Seager and Puig. Cody Bellinger gets the day off, both at first and in the cleanup spot. Kike Hernandez fills both those roles. Yasmani Grandal has been their best hitter so far this year. He bats 5th and catches. Then it's Kemp, Forsythe, and Kyle Farmer making his 3rd start at the hot corner. Patrick Corbin was the opening day starter this year for Arizona. It was kind of by default. Zach Greinke was behind because of some groin tightness during spring training. Robbie Ray was lined up to start Friday. They didn't want to throw him off, so they gave the ball to Corbin, and he didn't disappoint. 2 runs over 5 2/3 and beat the Rockies.
Dodgers have piled up a bunch of right-handed hitters against him because since 2016, that's who he struggles against. 2nd worst on-base percentage for any qualifying starting pitcher, Patrick Corbin. Righties get on base a lot off of him.
Yep, so 7 of them, including Chris Taylor. Drove in the lone Dodgers running last night's 6-1 defeat. Off we go in the series finale with a fly ball to right field that Chris Owings will camp under. And Chris Taylor trying to ambush Corbin on the first pitch of the game, but flying to right.
Shortstop, number 5, Corey Seager.
Up comes Corey Seager. Now, last night was really the first loss that felt like a loss much of the way. Prior to that, 2-3 with 3 one-run losses, including the series opener Monday, where they fell 8-7 in 15 innings. That's strike 1. But then last night, the Diamondbacks 3 solo home runs and 3 bases loaded walks. Softly bounced to first. Goldschmidt, 2 up, 2 down.
Dodgers offense has been better when they're aggressive early in the count. The team is hitting over 400 when they put the first pitch in play. After that, it's down around 200.
And those numbers there, Oral, for Yasiel Puig with the average only at 200, only 2 hits in this series. They're sure not indicative of how well he's swung the bat so far.
No, he looks great in the batter's box. I think he's got to be up there as far as exit velocity of all the Dodgers, as hard hit balls. Consistently smoking the ball between left center and right center.
And he's always seen Patrick Corbin well. 350 with a home run against Corbin. There's the 0-1, and Puig swings and misses at a back foot slider that Patrick Corbin threw half of the time against Colorado last Thursday.
He's relied heavily on that since the 2nd half of last year, and he keeps it down. 72% of his sliders are down in the strike zone. It's like #1 in the big league since the 2nd half of last year. So you're not going to really see that up and in kind of cutter slash slider from him. You're going to always probably see that back foot slider.
Going to it on 1-2, and Puig bounces it foul.
He heard me and left it up.
Yeah, he did. And Puig knows it, that he had one that he could do some damage with. It's a slider that Todd Helton, when he was still in the league, called one of the best that he'd ever seen. Patrick Corbin was an all-star when he was 23 years old before Tommy John surgery. His 1-2 delivery, foul tipped into the mitt to complete a 1-2-3 first inning. Patrick Corbin mows the Dodgers down. Now Alex Wood tries to build off his magnificent start from Friday. Gerard Dyson, a new addition in the outfield to lead things off. Then Ketel Marte, Goldschmidt, and Pollock. Owens, one of the heroes from the opener on Monday. Descalso homered last night. Marrero and Jeff Mathis. Against Alex Wood, who a year ago put up really good numbers against just about everybody. Unbeaten with a 2.57 against these Diamondbacks.
All-star season for him, and he has made some significant changes this year. Of course, eliminating the windup. Another change is the higher use of the breaking ball already. Less use of the fastball.
Starts the day with a fastball strike. That game you see in yellow there on Friday night, just one hit over 8 shutout innings. The lone hit was an infield single. And a 1-0 loss to San Francisco. That's a base hit down the line. Dyson can really fly. He's going to test Puig, whose throw is not in time. Dyson, one of a handful of players in the sport that turns that play into a double against Puig.
Hold on to the ball at second base. It's going to be bang bang, but Yasiel Puig did an amazing job charging this, but Dyson's wheels in running to the base are faster than Puig's wheels in running to the ball, and that got him into second.
Boy, you're seeing two of baseball's elite of elite in their individual tools on this play alone. That was fun to watch, for the speed of Dyson and the throwing arm of Puig. Leadoff man in scoring position for Arizona. Ketel Marte, the guy who can really run. Looks at strike one and an off-speed pitch. Let's use that speed to get a couple of triples in this series. One and one.
Always hard for a starting pitcher to give up that leadoff double, the very first batter of the game. You're really just trying to get your feel for the game and your stuff, and all of a sudden you've got to make big pitches to prevent a run.
Just misses with a fastball. 2-1 on Marte. Diamondbacks 4-1, taking 2 of 3 from the Rockies, and then taking the first 2 of this series. Beating Clayton Kershaw last night. Got some help there. 2-2.
Fastball low and away the pitch before, and then that was a changeup right there. And I love the sequencing because you get Marte out in front. Now the ground ball gets hit to the left side and you keep the runner at second base. You go Hardaway multiple times, easier to shoot the ball to right field and move the runner up.
That's a changeup for Alex Wood that last year was the #2 most effective changeup in the National League, behind only Zach Greinke's changeup. Yes, 3 different people. You might get 3 different answers why Alex Wood had a breakout season last year. Somebody might tell you, well, the velocity ticked up a few above what it had been. Some might say, well, that changeup was the 2nd best in the National League. On a 2-2, Marte hits a hard ground ball to short. Seager thought about it and will go to first. I know when I ask you, it's a combination of a few things.
The 3-pitch pitcher he became, and didn't rely just on the fastball changeup, but the breaking ball became part of his arsenal, and a larger part. I think that he would tell you also just health and being able to have an off season to work completely on getting better mechanics. I think Rick Honeycutt would tell you becoming a 3-pitch pitcher was huge. Dyson's speed got him over there. Normally a lot of runners don't move up, and Corey Seager chooses to throw him out at third.
With 1 out, it's Goldschmidt taking ball 1. Think about what Dyson's speed has done already. A normal man is at first on the ball that he hit, and then it's a double play on that ground ball. But instead, a runner at third with 1 out, and Goldschmidt with a chance to put Arizona in front. 1-1. Odd start to the year for the big man. He's just 1 for 14. But because he's walked 9 times, he's still getting on base at an elite clip. Wood brings a 1-1. Goldschmidt lays off. Ball 2.
I know who could fix Goldie. That would be Turner Ward. Turner has always said that Goldie was one of his prize pupils, and one of the hardest workers that learned the most from him and really helped Turner's hitting coach career, bouncing a lot of things off of Goldie and working out with him.
A.J. Pollock, another one of those guys Turner Ward particularly close with. Those are the 2 longest tenured Diamondback hitters. Changeup taken low, and it's 3-1. Arizona really wanted to keep Turner Ward around here, but couldn't turn down that offer that he had from the Dodgers to join Dave Roberts' first staff. And if they wanted him before, you know, they really wish they could have kept him, seeing what he's done with the Dodgers in his couple years. Softly hit to third, and again, Dyson's speed means there's 1 play. The speed leads to the run. 1-0 Arizona.
It's amazing, his speed that picked up the RBI for Goldschmidt. Just fielders with really no chance. The first fielder, Yasiel Puig, has the best chance on the ball down the line to right field, but then ground ball to Seager and the ground ball to Farmer. Just not even a decision to be made.
So they're clear with 2 out for Pollock. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we touched on it a little bit, but you go through the different phases of what that speed did, and just that 1 trip around the bases. It turned a single into a double, which turned a ground ball from a double play into just 1 out, and then turned what would have been for most guys a play at the plate or holding at third into the game's first run. 1-0 pitch, and Pollock takes a strike. 1-1. Pollock against Alex Wood in his career, .438 with 2 home runs. Backs him off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike.
If I could run that fast, I'd be laughing too.
Count evens 2-2. Signed him to a 2-year contract, Rod Dyson, for the specific thing we're seeing, that speed, that standout tool. There's not a whole lot that he does above average, but that one thing, that's what's made him a big leaguer for close to a decade now. Wood downhill with a 2-2, and Pollock drags a bouncing ball to third. A tough bounce on Farmer. Makes a clean play, throws him out. Diamondbacks get one. To the second we go. 1-0 Arizona. Second inning here in the series finale, where Kike Hernandez will lead things off. 26-year-old out of Puerto Rico. To a good start this season. Significant role at second base. Trickle down to Justin Turner's injury. Logan Forsythe moving to third. And Hernandez getting most of the time at second. Patrick Corbin downhill with the first pitch of the inning, and he's in there with strike one. Originally a draft pick of the Houston Astros, Kike Hernandez was. And traded to Miami. Traded from Miami to the Dodgers in the D. Gordon deal. Found out that he'd been traded that time around in a direct message on Twitter from a teenage blogger. One and two, which means he had his phone on him, which is more than some of us can say right now. Rough day for you, Bulldog.
It is definitely a rough day for me right now. I am trusting our driver that it slipped out of my pants when we were coming over here to the ballpark, and hopefully he will find it.
Hernandez takes strike three for the first out of the second.
And please, friends, do not light my phone up with a whole bunch of messages, but if you do, I will actually be glad to read them someday. That means I got my phone back.
One away for Grandal. Great start to the season for him. He's been on base in half of his plate appearances. Hit his first home run of the season, game one of this series. Dodgers got off to such a good start here in Phoenix. They led 3-0 after a half inning. They led 6-3 in the late innings. Seems like a long time ago now. 2-0. You see Will Ireton on the right-hand side of the screen down there. And where there's Will, there's Kenta. 2-1. And for more on why those guys are down there, let's go down to Alana.
Well, Kenta Maeda is in the bullpen, as you guys were just talking about, because he's in there, as Dave Roberts puts it, for coverage, just based on what's happened in the series so far, but more importantly, based on what's going to come up in the weekend against the San Francisco Giants. There's a lot of bad weather that is pending, and it looks like Friday's game could very easily be canceled. Dave Roberts was not willing to say who was going to start on Friday or Saturday, but did commit to Clayton Kershaw getting the start on Sunday to keep him on normal rest. Perhaps we'll see what happens with the weather and then determine Friday and Saturday's starter.
Okay, Alana. Down on strikes goes Grandal. That's 3 in a row for Corbin. 2 away in the second. For Matt Kemp. A lot of off days early in the season just with the way the schedule is set up, and a chance at an additional one. Saying 100% chance of rain Friday in San Francisco. First pitch breaking ball is low, 1-0.
Could be hoping for rain if maybe you get another loss here today. Maybe need some time to get away from it. Could be hoping to play if all of a sudden you get on a hot streak and you don't want to have many off days in a row.
I know Matt Kemp has talked about that, how he at his age, in this stage of his career, hates off days because he feels so stiff after a day off coming back. Feels like it's been forever since he's swung a bat. A little bit outside, and he's ahead 2-1.
I always used to describe the stiffness as cobwebs. It's like you just feel like you just got cobwebs all over your body and your joints. It's like, I need to really go after it. And the off days, I try to break a sweat and really get the adrenaline going somehow, but it's almost impossible, of course, in practice to get that same game intensity.
Took a ball 3-1, and Alana.
Have a lot of off days front loaded in this season, guys. Because of the new collective bargaining rules, it calls for 4 extra off days this year. So there are no more 21 straight days or 21 straight games that they have to play. They have 5 off days in the month of April, including tomorrow being the first, Monday, and then every other Thursday in the month of April. I talked to the guys earlier today, and they're like, we'll always appreciate an off day. It will be interesting to see, though, how it affects them later on in the year.
Corbin to Kemp with a 3-2 and a half-hearted swing and a miss. He strikes out the side and has retired the first 6 Dodgers in order.
Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Dodger home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
To the bottom of the second, 1-0 Arizona, and 5, 6, and 7 for the Diamondbacks coming up against Alex Wood.
I already have that app on my phone.
That's not doing you much good. Strike one.
I don't have my phone.
Right. We know. Yeah.
You brought it up, and it's lingering in my head.
Hopefully the Dodgers can give you a distraction today. Owings rips one by the bag at third. Long run for Matt Kemp to get it. Owings with the leadoff double.
They're beating Alex Wood between the lines. First inning, a ground ball down the right field line for a double. Now to start the second inning, a ground ball down the left field line.
So already more hits, already more runs than Alex Wood gave up in his 8 innings on Friday night. Dan to Descalso. Started last night scoring with a home run against Clayton Kershaw, who's given up 3 runs this year, all of them off solo homers from left-handed hitters. Descalso bunts it along first and foul.
Not a true sacrifice bunt. He was bunting to drag it over there. If it ends up being a ground ball to Kike or second base, moves the runner over. Also gave himself a shot of getting a hit.
Somebody asked him after the game his thoughts on a couple left-handed hitters getting homers off Kershaw, and he kind of smiled and said, I think left-handers are allowed to get hits off him.
Dry sense of humor.
1-1. Diamondbacks hit more home runs against the Dodgers last year than any team had hit against the Dodgers in a season since 1958. 1958 Giants. And it was not even close, at least last year. Woods ahead 1-2. I guess not entirely surprising that they had the lead far and away among teams that homered against the Dodgers. It'd be a divisional team that would have the most since you play them 19 times. Giants were the worst power team in baseball last year. Padres didn't hit for much power. I think the one surprising one that they didn't hit more was Colorado. Liner to second and caught by Forsythe.
J.D. Martinez last year helped out a little bit.
He was unbelievable after the Diamondbacks got him.
Sure was. It's a huge loss when they lost his bat.
Tried to replace it with Steven Souza, they brought over from the Tampa Bay Rays, but Souza got injured during spring training and won't be available until May. That's not going to be a full replacement of J.D. Martinez. The guy was basically Babe Ruth for 2 months, but he will supply some power. 30 home runs last year for the Rays. Here's Marrero swinging to the first pitch, dumping it back, strike one. Runner takes off, pitches low, throw to third, not in time, and a stolen base for Chris Owings. Randall wants Dave Roberts and Bob Guerin and John Pratt to take a look.
Left-handed pitchers, Alex didn't really check him. Forsythe was jockeying him back and forth at second, but Owings seemed to get a pretty good jump, gives himself a chance for this bang-bang play, and looks like he is safe.
It's closer than it looked in real time, though, wasn't it? So big stolen base there. Calculated risk for Owings. Infield will come in. As Wood comes home. Fly ball to right field, and this is going to get the job done. The stolen base leads to a run. Puig twirls and guns it in. It's 2-0. Base running has led to the 2 runs for Arizona here in this series finale.
Two speedy doubles. Dyson moving around on some routine ground ball outs and a stolen base from Owings. Tallies 2.
He gets today's catcher Jeff Mathis up there. Mathis, the game-winning hit in the 15th inning on Monday night. He wasn't up there to give him the win at the plate as much as it was all they had left. And Mathis was going to be the next Diamondbacks pitcher if that game went 16. Falls behind here 0-2. Went back into the clubhouse about 1 a.m. at this point. Taijuan Walker, who had started the game 5 hours before, was back there and gone through his post-game stuff and said, what in the world is Mathis doing rummaging through his dugout at this point? Saw him grab his infielder's glove and thought, oh yeah, I know what's going on. It's inside and it's 1-2, but never got there because Mathis won the game against Wilmer Font with his base hit to left center. And it says last night, and you're thinking that's wrong. It was 2 nights ago, but technically that was yesterday.
That's true. Wouldn't that have been interesting to have Jock Peterson on the mound for the Dodgers, Mathis on the mound for the Diamondbacks,
Yeah.
and you read the decision on the internet the next day in the Dodger game? Who's this Peterson guy got the win? Who's this Mathis guy who got the loss?
Right.
No, the tables turned and neither one was involved.
How is F7 to Maeda? Right, he was going to go in and play left.
Yeah.
Woods' first strikeout of the day as he curves that one under Mathis. We go to the 3rd. Diamondbacks with a single run in each of the first 2.
Nothing up in this inning for the Dodgers. Logan Forsythe, Kyle Farmer, and Alex Wood. Kyle Farmer at third base getting the start today. It's his third start of the season, the fourth in the at the major league level in the course of his young career. Not the first time, though, he's been in the lineup with Alex Wood. It is at the big league level, but not as far as their college days were concerned. They were roommates and teammates at the University of Georgia, and although they haven't been battery mates at the big league level, this is the first time they've played together in the starting lineup. Kind of a cool story coming full circle, guys.
Very cool. Very cool. Kyle Farmer will bat second in this inning behind Logan Forsythe. Kyle and Alex have matching tattoos on their forearms. Tattoos say second chance, and there is a life-altering story behind it. With one of their best friends who's still very close to. His name is Chance Veazey, who was one of their teammates at Georgia. Logan Forsythe looks at a first pitch strike. So actually, if you go back to Game 4 of the World Series last year when Alex Wood was so good, taking the no-hitter into the 6th inning, that fell on October 28th, which was 8 years to the day when Chance, who was best friends with Kyle and Alex, college teammate of theirs, he was paralyzed on the campus in Athens, riding his scooter, was hit by a car in an intersection. And Chance was in Houston on the anniversary of that to watch Alex's gem in Game 4 of the World Series last year. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Forsythe. So yeah, Farmer and Wood and a couple of their friends got those tattoos on their arm to pay tribute to Chance, who had the sport that he loved taken away from him. And Alex has had Chance's initials stitched into every glove that he's had as a pro, CV. He also has JT stitched in his gloves as well. Another Georgia Bulldog was paralyzed a couple of years after. His name was Jonathan Taylor. Forsythe got his hands in, put a 2-hopper to short. Marte throws him out. So Alex Wood and Kyle Farmer both, they don't have to think too hard to come up with a reason to put things in perspective as their big league careers go on, with the ups and downs they go through, the ups and downs any major leaguer goes through. They just look down at their arm and see that tattoo and think about their best buddy Chance and everything that he's gone through. Kyle still looking for his first hit of the year. He takes strike 1 from Patrick Corbin. One and one.
Hit or no hit, he will give you a professional at bat. He's one of those guys with his body language and his eyes, you can just tell he is locked in.
Yanks one foul. 1 and 2. Dave Roberts went to him in the extra innings game to have him sacrifice bunt, and he had worked it to a 3-1 count. Then it became full, and then he got put in an impossible spot when Archie Bradley basically threw a pitch right at him and he froze and popped it up. Strikes out swinging. That is already 5 for Corbin, who's retired the first 8 in order.
Patrick Corbin, the Dodgers need to make him get the ball up. When that slider is at the knees and then breaks down in the dirt, if you're offering it that, you are not going to dig that ball out.
Alex Wood swings and misses, strike 1. He's given up a run in each of the first 2 innings. Those innings kind of mirroring each other. Leadoff doubles, good base running, and single runs. 6 Ks once through the order for Patrick Corbin. 2-0 to the bottom of the third. We look at our Carl's cam. Gerard Dyson starting their day with a hustle double. Found himself at third as a result 2 batters later and scored the first run. Owens then started the second inning with a double. Stole third and 1 pitch later scored on a sacrifice fly. It's 2-0 Arizona to the bottom of the third. And as Gerard Dyson famously said in Kansas City, where he started his career, that's what speed do.
Well, they were getting good jumps too. He got good jumps on his ground balls where he moved up. Owens got a good jump off of Alex Wood to steal third base. A little tougher as a left-handed pitcher to guard against the stolen base because your head turns away from the runner quicker than a right-hander where the peripheral vision has got a look on him.
Those are the 2 base runners against Wood through the first 2 innings. Dyson and Owens both scoring. The pitcher Corbin to lead off the third. Strike 1. Ball on a strike.
Roof is closed today.
Yeah.
It's been open with the windows last couple games.
You have a preference here?
It's so beautiful outside here. I'm surprised it's closed. Is my preference? I'd say my preference is to have it closed.
Well, anything over 90 degrees, and it's supposed to just tick over 90 this afternoon, they keep it closed. Wood pitches 1-2, and Corbin slices a fly ball to left center. Kemp was shallow, so it's over his head. 3 innings, 3 leadoff doubles.
This really stings. Makes you feel like Alex Wood, you've got to fight off the demons that tell you, okay, here we go again, or it's not going to be my day. Now it's time for the mental and emotional battle. And you get back to the top of the order where you have more bad memories with Dyson coming up.
First double for Corbin, by the way, in 2 years. And now here is Dyson. Stabs through a pitch, strike 1. He's one of those guys where, yes, he can lay down a quote-unquote sacrifice bunt, but sacrifice probably not the right word for it just because of his speed. Still got a good chance to get on if he lays it down appropriately.
Always a challenge for a third baseman in this situation, whether to come get the ball or stay back if the bunt is bad. But Kyle Farmer even has to protect against the sacrifice bunt that could turn into a hit. And so this is really tough defense at third. You've got to make a very quick and accurate decision.
It's one thing to get the leadoff double. It's another to cash in on it. Diamondbacks have both times so far today. Firmly at Wood, so they'll throw him out easily. Up to third goes Corbin. One gone.
Shortstop.
Ketel Marte grounded as short his first time up. Base hit to left, 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Dodgers were pinched in on the right and staggered on the left with Corey Seager back at pretty much normal shortstop depth, but that ball found the 6-hole easy. It was smoked. As you can see them slightly in halfway on the right and then normal on the left, but that's a clean base hit to drive in the third run.
Goldschmidt bats with a runner at first and one out. You sense that it's only a matter of time before Goldschmidt hits a couple of home runs. You hope that it's after the Dodgers get out of Dodge. Although the Dodgers will see the Diamondbacks again before too long. Next homestand, they'll be in next weekend. After 2 with the A's, the Diamondbacks come in Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. Wood to Goldschmidt 0-1. It's outside, ball one.
Goldie looks just in between, not really chasing a lot of pitches, but not hitting the hittable pitches that we're so used to seeing him rake. Before we got in here, talking to some of the Diamondback people, saying that he was taking fastballs that he normally drives during this series here. He's been swinging the bat a lot more at balls in the hitting area, but just not barreling them up.
#1 slugging in baseball against fastballs last year. Two and two. Rarely does he swing when it's not a fastball. The 4th lowest swing percentage against off speed in baseball. He knows his strengths.
So if he sees spin different than a fastball before 2 strikes, he's probably just taking it. He's not even worried about what the location is.
Runner at first with 1 out. Here comes a 2-2. After a toss over, if you're a pitcher, you're looking at that data and stealing a strike each time with an off-speed pitch?
I would definitely think about it. Yep, especially with my breaking pitch. If I was commanding it, you don't want to just ease it in there, and in the back of your head it could be just you'd be the guy that he decides to swing and hit the breaking ball. You know,
you can live with it.
Yeah.
Full count.
Misses are frustrating when you've been giving up these doubles and runs and you feel like you're just getting bled to death out there on the mound.
Only Freddie Freeman more walks this year, and he's sitting on 3 balls right now. And a 3-0 game in the third. Woods 3-2 pitch. Goldschmidt hits a pop fly into left. Matt Kemp accelerating to it. 2 out.
Got him out front, and again, elevated pitch that Goldie really did not hit in a Goldie way.
So A.J. Pollock comes up, trying to extend what is now a 30-game on-base streak against the Dodgers in this ballpark. That goes back 4 seasons. Ball 1.
That's impressive. Some consistency against the Dodgers.
Diamondbacks hoping he can stay healthy. Had the broken elbow in 2016 after a huge 2015. Everybody kind of started to recognize who A.J. Pollock was. And another injury-riddled year last year. A strike 1-1. Missed 50 games. First it was a groin injury, and then he injured his quad during the rehab. And as he tried to battle through those, he was just about a league average hitter when he was healthy.
Now he's bumping up against free agency.
Right. Yeah, he will be after this year. So a lot of people think that he's going to have a big year. A lot of times you'll see guys turn it up a notch in that contract year. Woods ahead of him with a fastball at 1-2.
Injuries are not as nagging when you're going into that contract year. You don't want to show other teams that you were on the DL with something that's borderline in your mind.
Marte at first with 2 gone, and Woods 1-2. Pollock chops it 2-3rd foul. A.J. Pollock, Alan Lorenz. Pollock out of Connecticut. When he was a high school freshman, he was 5 feet 2 inches. Grew a few inches the next year. He was 5'9" by the time he was a junior in high school, which still isn't by any stretch big. Still be one of the smaller kids. And he had lots of injuries at that point, and then really hit another growth spurt. Reached his current height by the time he was a senior in high school, and highly recruited by Notre Dame. Another 1-2 offering. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wood having a hard time locating that off-speed stuff so far.
His arm side, he has really kind of struggled. He's not been bad inside to righties, the breaking ball, but thrown a few decent change-ups, but he would be critical of his location today. Normally, he is somebody who's very pinpoint and very aggressive in the strike zone.
Got him swinging here. As Pollock chases a breaking ball in the dirt. The second K for Alex Wood. Another single-run inning for the Diamondbacks in a 3-0 game. BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. It was 2 years ago on this day that Dave Roberts managed his first game in the majors, a 14-0 win over the San Diego Padres on opening day. And since that day, so since he became a manager, tied with Joe Madden for the most wins in baseball. When you're looking long term, as far as his first 2 years, he's fourth in baseball history for the most wins in the first 2 seasons of a managerial run. Second time through the Dodger order, hoping for better luck against Patrick Corbin. Chris Taylor takes strike 1. It's quite a list that Dave Roberts is on. He's 1 behind Joe Madden for most wins in the first 2 years with the team. 2 behind Joe McCarthy, World Series manager, Hall of Fame manager of the Yankees back in the 30s. Tries to lay off, can't. 0-2. Joe McCarthy, first 13 years as manager of the Yankees, won 7 world championships.
Wow.
Dave Roberts right on his heels for the most wins through 2 seasons. Number 1 on the list, another Yankees manager, Ralph Houck, in the early 60s. Interesting thing about Houck is that while he won back-to-back World Series to open his career there, 3 straight pennants, he managed another 17 seasons and won 90 games just once. After those 3 years, he took the Yankees to the World Series. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was an all with the Yankees. He went to the Tigers after that. It's time with the Red Sox too. But here you are, looking at record-setting first 2 years. You're thinking Hall of Famer, this Ralph Houck. He's not, though. Taylor works it full after falling behind 0-2. Seven strikeouts for Patrick Corbin.
7 strikeouts, only 42 pitches. That's the 5th strikeout of the 7 on a slider. Normally they've been swinging and missing, but that slider just froze Taylor.
So now it's Corey Seager with the bases empty and 1 out. Swinging and missing at a slider. Corbin, 28 years of age, out of Clay, New York. 6th major league season now. He, like A.J. Pollock, who we're talking about, will be a free agent at the end of the year. Another slider and another strike. Because of that, he was spoken about a lot in trade talks this offseason. Almost got Seager on 3 straight sliders. Barely stays alive. Still 0-2.
2-to-1 strike to ball ratio, so it's not like the Dodgers can sit back and wait for a walk. He's attacking the strike zone.
Little tapper. Barehand by Mathis, 2 out. Been some nights already this season where the Dodgers have just not had it offensively, but I think this might be the most dominant pitching performance through a few innings they've seen.
Ty Block did well, Cueto did well, but this is the most dominant.
Yeah, Cueto held him off of the bases, but there was some solid contact early on in that game. And with the exception really of the first pitch of the game that Chris Taylor hit to the warning track, there's been nothing. 7 Ks and 3 soft groundouts. A strike and a fastball. Dodgers celebrating their 60th season in Los Angeles. You saw the patch there on Corbin's sleeve, celebrating their 20th year of existence. Corbin with a 2-1 to Puig. Off the end of the bat to second. There's Descalso, and he's retired the first 12. To the bottom of the fourth, 3-0.
Scenes of the opening day ceremonies that honored the legend Kirk Gibson. Hear from Gibby himself as he makes his return to Dodger Stadium and relives one of the most iconic moments in baseball history. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Alex Wood trying to put up his first 0 of the day. Single runs in each of the first 3 innings for Arizona as Chris Owings takes ball 1. All 3 innings have begun with a double. And each one of those doubles is turned into a run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Owings finally getting right from that shoulder injury that lingered for a couple years. Tore his labrum 3 years ago. An awkward slide at home plate. It took him a couple years before he could swing the way that he wanted to. Even after the surgery, was completely limited in his range of motion. I was making mechanical adjustments to compensate just to avoid the pain. And he finally gets back to feeling right last year, and he breaks his middle finger trying to bunt. Surgery the next day on that. Had to have another surgery on it in November. Dribbles it foul, 2-2. He's just thinking to himself, man, I mean, here I am in my prime years. He's 26 years old. They think has the kind of potential to be a big time player. He was a first-round pick, but injury after injury has kept him from really hitting his stride thus far. Wood brings him a 2-2 and strikes him out to open the 4th. And we welcome you inside with the Dodgers trailing the Diamondbacks 3-0. Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser. And man, you just want him to get going. It goes without saying, not nearly as fun to watch what's going on right now with this 2-4 start and now a 3-0 gap early.
After a couple of tough losses at night, all of a sudden you get a day game. It feels a little sleepy in here, especially when the opposing pitcher is just mowing you down. He's perfect to this point, and Alex Wood out there with the tin soldiers going on. The single runs in each inning feels like he's having a terrible day, but really it's just the Diamondbacks have been extra special on defense.
Hernandez fields a bouncing ball and feeds Wood for the second out. It's kind of one of those in-between plays that when you don't play a lot of first base can be tough. Do you go for it? Do you go to the bag and let the second baseman get it? And Hernandez, in just his third career start at first, decided to get it himself and make it a 3-1. Started multiple games at every spot besides pitcher and catcher. And if you're wondering, can Kike catch? Had they needed a catcher in that 15-inning game because they had used all three on the roster, Kike would have been the emergency option. Devin Marrero takes ball one. Driven to deep left. Actually not that deep. Kemp's over there to catch it, and the inning is over. Good sound, but dies with Kemp in left. Alex Wood with his first 1-2-3 inning of the day.
Refreshing for the Dodgers, but for Patrick Corbin with his slider working today, he has been striking out a lot of Dodgers. 7 total, 5 on sliders. The slider percentage use has gone up this year. Last year threw it about 38% of the time. Opening day threw it 48% of the time when he got the win. And here today against the Dodgers, it's over 56% of the time he has thrown that slider.
Second time in the first 7 games of the season that an opposing pitcher has been perfect through 4. Johnny Cueto took his perfect game into the 7th on Friday night, also against Alex Wood, as Kike Hernandez is out in front of a first pitch breaking ball.
Facing Corbin right now is like facing a knuckleballer. If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. That slider has great tilt, late break, and it is large today.
After the 8 strikeout performance on opening day, he's got 7 in this one. Ball's behind Hernandez, 2-1 as the Dodgers bring the middle third of the order to the plate. 2-2. And this is a guy in Corbin who in his last 9 starts against the Dodgers is 0-8 with an ERA above 6. It's not that they haven't seen him. It's not that they haven't hit him before. Different today though. Big bouncer. It's short. It's Marte. 1 out.
All the success the Dodgers have had in the past against Corbin, maybe that's the reason for the change in strategy of so many more sliders here today, knowing that the fastball has not worked against the Dodgers.
Grandal swinging his first time and starts him with a slider as well. Strike one. Fastball misses. Ball and a strike. One and two.
You can see that slider just coming right out of the window of that fastball away. The ball down there that low. Look at the tilt on that. It has the tilt of a curveball, but the speed of a slider.
Missed with this one, and the count evens at 2-2.
It's approximately a 10-mile-an-hour differential from his fastball, so it's not so off speed that you're not going to be able to hit it into fair territory, but it's enough off speed, but then that late break that gets it off the barrel.
Got Grandal with a back foot slider. That is 8 of them today. Built for Baseball, presented by T-Mobile, the best network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. Chase Field, final game of this 3-game series before the Dodgers hit the road for San Francisco and play 3 with the Giants beginning Friday night. With 2 out, Matt Kemp. Huge breaking ball for a strike. What are you going to do with that?
That's 75, so that's the curveball. He took a little off of that. It looks like he almost uses the same grip and the same spin, just gets a little bit more speed off of that. Gets his hand a little bit closer to the front of the ball, spin the front, where on the slider it's a little bit more the top of the baseball.
Everybody's got a little different trick. Monday night it was Taijuan Walker with his fastball that he rides. Zach Godley's curveball last night. And now the slider in different shapes from Patrick Corbin. Flip down the right field line. Is this going to do it? It will. Matt Kemp headed for second. First base runner of the game for the Dodgers. A teardrop of a double against Corbin.
Weak but effective. And he is fooled. That slider has been outstanding. Gets a lot of swings and misses. Matt just tips this ball down the right field line. Like a lob wedge you might see at Augusta this weekend.
Baseball sure is a cruel game, isn't it? Think back to Friday night, how Alex Wood and Johnny Cueto both lost their no-hitters. It was an infield single against Alex Wood. It was a flare base hit against Cueto. Forsythe looks at a strike. So a 2-out double from Kemp. Can Forsythe take advantage? That's up, ball one. Kind of surprising Logan Forsythe hasn't drawn a walk yet this year. Such a big part of his game a year ago. On a 1-1 pitch, he swings and grounds it to Marte. Dodgers get their first base runner, but strand him at second, halfway home in a 3-0 game. Fifth inning with Oral Hershiser and Alana Rizzo. Joe Davis at Chase Field. Dodgers trying to avoid the sweep, trying to avoid their first 2-5 start in 20 years. We'll go back to 1998 to find the last time they had a 2-5 opening week to the year. So 1 ball and no strikes. Jeff Mathis leading off this inning. Dribbles one up along first. Wood has it, spins and throws to get him. It's a nice play by Alex Wood for the first out of the 5th. Brings up Patrick Corbin, who was one of the doubles for the Diamondbacks today. Led off the 3rd with a double and came in to score on a Marte base hit.
Alex Wood lingering behind the mound, and before the visit rule came in as far as 6 in the game, an infielder usually comes in after that play and gives you a little time, ties his shoe behind the mound, talks to you for a little bit, but not now. It's like the pitchers have the plague. Stay away.
No balls, 1 strike on Corbin. Now it's 0-2 and a 3-0 game in the bottom of the 5th, with the Diamondbacks in front, getting single runs in the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Woods 0-2. Smack to center. Corbin is 2 for 2.
Very salty. Alex Wood disgusted with an 0-2 pitch that turns out to be a hit, and now it's 2 for 2 for the pitcher. That hurts.
Back to the top of the order in Gerard Dyson.
Corbin is having a day.
Man, 1 hit over 5 shutout innings on the mound, and now his 6th career 2-hit game.
He's 2 away from the cycle.
He is, yeah. He does have triples in his career. No homers, though. Caught the corner, and it's 0-2 on Dyson.
I'll be very surprised if Dyson can reach this pitch. After giving up a 0-2 hit to the pitcher, he's going to really concentrate on making him chase here, I would think.
He does, and Dyson lays off. A ball and 2 strikes.
It's almost the way a pitcher, when he gives up a home run, and all of a sudden the next time that batter comes around he's allergic to the strike zone. Well, you give up an 0-2 hit, you're allergic to throwing it anywhere close 0-2 with that memory so fresh.
Got him here with a changeup with the 2nd out of the 5th.
Ball just fades right under Dyson's swing. His approach is for something down the middle, but the tail down and in gets him.
4th of the afternoon for Alex Wood, and up comes a 2-hitter, Ketel Marte. A 3-0 game in the bottom of the 5th. Marte hits it foul, strike 1. One and one.
70 pitches now for Alex Wood. Finish up this inning, maybe one or two more. Stay under 100. These are the outings for pitchers that feel terrible, and they feel even worse when you don't get any run support. Clayton Kershaw, his first two outings of the year, has pitched fine, but just no support. So it feels so much worse, and it almost feels like you're not throwing the ball well enough. And Alex Wood right here didn't get any run support in his first game. And again here, both of them suing for lack of support.
It's like you're trying your hardest and then you got to try harder, right? Which sometimes can be counterproductive.
Yeah, you have to just think about the execution side, not the result side, because you think about the result side, it might make you start overthrowing, trying too hard, and you put yourself in a bad position just because emotionally you were in the wrong place.
Wood comes home with a 1-2, and Marte strikes out swinging. So Wood with back-to-back zeros put up, giving the offense in the game 3-0 to the 6th. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. It's Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event. Now get amazing deals on a tough new Tacoma. Dodger great Gil Hodges always had his best when it mattered most. 1955 World Series, Game 7. Dodgers won 2-0. And he knocked in both runs for their first world championship. First world championship in Los Angeles. He hit .391 in the World Series. And was born on this day in 1924 in Indiana. Gil's first plan was to become a PE teacher and a coach. And so he went to college planning on doing that. The Dodgers offered him a pro contract after his sophomore year in college. Decided to take it. And was a first baseman for much of his pro career, but when they signed him, he was a catcher. Why did they move him? Roy Campanella came along, and they still wanted to have Hodges with a spot. Needed to get Campanella on the field, so they moved Hodges to first. Kyle Farmer to lead off this 6th inning in a 3-0 game. Patrick Corbin gets a swing and a miss, strike one. Hodges debuted when he was 19 years old. That was in 1943. He makes his big league debut. Dream come true. 11 days later, he enters the Marines in World War II. Was on the ground with the Marines in the assault on Okinawa in 1945. So away from baseball after for a few years after finally making that debut. So on the ground fighting in 1945. Spring training 1946. Gil Hodges back with the Dodgers. 16 of his 18 years in the major leagues in Dodger blue. That's high, and it's 3-1 on Farmer as the Dodgers try to crack the code against Patrick Corbin, who has fanned 8 and given up just a bloop double.
I was born in Buffalo, New York, and I remember playing catch with my grandfather with one of his old gloves, and it was a Gil Hodges first baseman glove.
Farmer strokes one in the air to right center field that A.J. Pollock has a beat on. One of the most popular Dodgers of that era.
Pitcher, Alex Wood.
Alex Wood bats for himself here with one away in the 6th. Bunts the first one foul.
Dave Roberts electing not to hit for Alex Wood, even though he's down 3-0. But a lot of bullpen use in the last few days. But when you think, though, we got an off day tomorrow and possibly rain on Friday, why wouldn't you go for the offense right here? But I'm sure he has his reasons.
Alana told us earlier Kenta Maeda is down in the bullpen today just in case. On 3 pitches, he gets Wood for his 9th K.
The 60th anniversary collector's card sets presented by 76 celebrates every decade the team has been in LA. Be the first 40,000 fans in attendance on April 10th when the Dodgers host the A's and receive the first set from 1965. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more info.
3rd time through the order now. Chris Taylor. Flied to right on the first pitch of the game. Maybe the best contact we've seen all day today came on the first pitch of the game. Started him with a slider and missed. He's thrown 19 sliders today. The Dodgers have swung and missed at 13 of them. Chopper to the left side. There's Marte. Yeah, there's another 1-2-3 inning for Miller. Or for Patrick Corbin, beg your pardon. Middle 6, 3-0. Alex Wood and the Dodgers down 3-0 for the last of the 6th, and Paul Goldschmidt to lead this inning off against Wood. He's put up back-to-back zeros after the Diamondbacks got single runs in each of the first 3 innings today. Diamondbacks off to this 4-1 start. On their way to 5-1 if the Dodgers can't find offense, despite Paul Goldschmidt sitting at 1 for 16 on the young season. Wood quickly ahead of him, 0-2.
Other than the 0-2 pitch to Corbin, Alex Wood the last couple innings has really started to find the range on his pitches. It's going to be all for naught if the Dodger offense doesn't get off the canvas. He's been very quiet with Mr. Corbin on the mound. It's surprising with Corbin's record coming in here against the Dodgers in his last 9 starts, and it's surprising also the way he has struggled since 2016 against right-handed hitters. Second worst on-base percentage against right-handers over the last couple years. The Dodgers, with 8 right-handed hitters in there today, have not made a dent.
Not made so much as a ding.
Yeah.
1 run the last 22 innings after the Dodgers had gotten a 6-3 lead in the 8th inning of the first game of this series.
This offensive production is going to make Justin Turner want to pick up a bat a little bit sooner.
And make the Dodgers perfectly okay with that. Goldschmidt hits a fly ball to left field. Kemp twisting around on it. He's got it for the first out. Here's A.J. Pollock. Base hit to right, goes after a first pitch fastball, strokes it into the gap. He'll test Taylor's arm, who was moving away from the infield when he grabbed it, and it's an easy double for A.J. Pollock.
Right-handed hitter slashing a ball into the right center gap. It's an easy read as you bust out of the box that you're going to go for 2. Pollock does not miss a step. His momentum on this swing taking him that direction, but as you can see visually from home plate, even though it's 1 hop into the outfield, it's right dead center in the gap there, and he just strides into second.
That on-base streak against the Dodgers in this ballpark now 31 games for Pollock. Fourth double of the day for Arizona. This man here, Chris Owings, had one of them to open the second, came in to score. Ball 1. Owings grew up in tiny Gilbert, South Carolina. Was on the varsity team at his high school as an 8th grader. Had plans of playing at South Carolina, but then he was drafted in the first round by Arizona. Debuted in 2013 as a September call-up. Runner takes off, throw down to third, not in time. Diamondbacks have wreaked havoc on the bases this afternoon.
I have a feeling after this outing, Alex Wood is going to give himself a good talking to about holding runners on second base. These guys do not have drastically big leads, but they are picking something up and breaking on time with Alex's high leg kick.
Infield in. 2-0. Strike one. Nice pitch, 2-2, and boy, could he use a strikeout here.
Left-handed hitter on deck, so you got a chance to get out of this inning, even if you end up first and third, one out. But now with 2 strikes, try and put him away. I would take 2 shots with the game 3-0 and Corbin throwing the ball the way he is. The walk doesn't bother me here. I need a strikeout.
Here's another 2-2. Good take by Owings. Full count.
Sure was. Good take. A fastball in that set up that breaking ball down and in, but he didn't pull the trigger on it. Fastball was up and in at his waist the last pitch. That breaking ball trying to get him to entice the swing.
So now a 3-2. Owings stays alive. We'll do it again. It's a dirt road that he grew up on in Gilbert. One of 3 boys in his family, all played baseball. All played baseball professionally for a time. One brother who was a conference player of the year at Coastal Carolina, and for a short time was a Diamondbacks minor leaguer. Another brother who was a pitcher. His older brother pitched professionally. So a lot of the family vacations when they're growing up, as you might imagine, involved baseball tournaments, and usually included a stop at a big league ballpark wherever the family was. Another 3-2, and Owings hits a fly ball foul. His younger brother, who we mentioned played at Coastal Carolina, his name's Connor, and his career was stopped by a kidney issue, a chronic kidney issue. Actually just got a transplant a couple of months ago from his mom. His playing career is done, but move on with the rest of his life having finally gotten that. Here's a dribbler to second. Forsythe coming home. They've got Pollock in a rundown. And a tag from Farmer, pulling it down, going up the ladder on a high throw. Now he's hung up between first and second, and the inning is over. Well executed by the Dodgers to get 2 tags, 2 outs in 1 play. Through a 6, 3-0.
By Arco. Starts with Forsythe at second. It's going to end up back at second base with Forsythe, but first it's got to go 4 to 2 to 5, and then as that ends up ending over there at third base, it ends up ending at second base. Farmer threw it over to Kike to Forsythe, and they recorded the third out of the inning right up the middle.
So they're able to keep it at 3-0. Joe Orel and Alana back in Phoenix. Dodgers managing just one base runner today over 6 innings against Patrick Corbin, and it was on the bloopiest of bloops from Matt Kemp down the right field line. 2, 3, and 4 coming up here. Corey Seager takes a slider low and away. It's been that slider that Corbin has rode to this dominant performance. I said last inning that he had thrown 19 of them. He's thrown way more than that. He's got 19 swings. They've missed on 13 of those 19 swings. That one's hung but popped up. A.J. Pollock with an easy first out of the 7th.
New Dodger mini plans are on sale now. Choose from 3, including the 11-game bobblehead plan featuring Kenley Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead, presented by Pirelli. Mini plan pricing starts at $20. Visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
You're getting good at that Calrissian word.
I'm liking it.
There's Puig with 1 out. Foul tips a fastball, 0-1. Now the Dodgers didn't see Patrick Corbin in the postseason last year, and the manager Torey Lovullo said that that's one of his great regrets from his first year as a manager, not finding a way to get him in a game. He was lined up to start game 4, never got there. Dodgers swept them. And one of the first things Lovullo did once the season finished was call Corbin to apologize for it. Left-hander back home with an 0-2. Puig lays off, 1-2.
That phone call will go a long way with your players, and especially this pitcher, once he received it. As you wonder, what's the organization think of me? What do they think of my abilities in a big game?
Offered this time. 10 Ks for Corbin, 2 out in the 7th.
Frustrating day for the Dodgers, and frustrating for Yasiel right there, personifying a lot of their problems. A disappearing slider. Full swings are missing it, and half swings are missing it.
2 outs, and here's Hernandez. 8 of the 10 strikeouts Corbin has have come off of that slider. Starts Hernandez with a fastball, strike 1. Strike 2.
The spin on that must be just super tight, because they are not seeing it early at all. Those balls are breaking in a large way, and they're real sharp, but they're not picking it up. It'd be one thing if he was throwing 10 or 15% of those pitches and you go, okay, he hasn't thrown many, they're having trouble seeing it because they don't see many of them. But throwing as many as he has, they have seen the rotation and the release point all day long.
Hernandez on another slider, strikes out. Complete dominance from Patrick Corbin. 11 strikeouts, throwing the slider more than the fastball. the box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Ross Stripling comes into a 3-0 game, ending Alex Wood's afternoon. Diamondbacks getting single runs in the first, the second, and the third, but nothing since, and now Stripling will try and keep it right here.
Dave Roberts elected not to pinch hit for Alex Wood an inning ago. With 1 out, nobody on, down 3-0. Got an extra inning out of Alex, and now turns to Stripling. But the Dodgers need offense. If Stripling can get him in the dugout in a hurry.
Faces Dan the Descalso to open the 7th. Pours in a fastball for a strike. Happy to report Orel's phone has been found.
It's awesome. We don't have it in hand yet, but the driver has found it.
You make it sound like we were fancy. It was a Toyota Prius Uber. Inside 1-1. It's in a wonderful case of serendipity. Our statistician Russell, his day job, he runs Uber pretty much.
Yeah, he just does this for a hobby to hang out with us.
Stroke the center on a line, leadoff single for Descalso. And Russell deserves all the credit for finding a couple loopholes and using his Uber power to get a hold of the driver and get your phone back. Happy for you, Orel.
That sounded great, the Uber power.
Leadoff man aboard for Devin Marrero. Shows you how reliant we are on our cell phones, though, doesn't it? When you feel the way you felt when you lost it.
Big smile came across my face when Russell gave me the news. Bigger smile if the Dodgers can come back in this game.
First pitch curve, bounce to third. Farmer to second, 1. Forsythe turns a double play. Around the horn, that'll certainly help. 2 gone.
Kyle Farmer down there at third base is very comfortable. We've seen him make some plays, wrong foot plays, quick throws over to second base, understanding time and space, and the runner right there had to elevate to get it, but took his time and got the ball over there to second.
So Mathis will bat with the bases empty. You know, I think like cell phone addiction is a real thing.
I believe it.
Down and away for a ball.
It's way more than your phone. You know, it's your newspaper in my day.
You were addicted to newspaper?
Yeah, I carry a newspaper with me all the time in my playing days, you know, to read the sports page, catch up on the world events. I mean, finding a newspaper on the team bus or in the team plane when we get on the charters, they'd have newspapers spread out over the plane for you.
But I think that's different where like you enjoyed that. It's not like you were reaching trying to find the newspaper every time you had a moment of silence in your life. And I think that there are a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it too. First time there's a break, you're reaching to check your phone even if there's nothing to check.
That's true, but there's so many things on your phone, right? You've got everything from video games to the news. You've got now Twitter and all the social apps. You've got actual phone calls and then texting, and yeah, it's everything.
Stripling to Mathis with a 1-2 pitch. Just outside, 2-2.
I'm sure somebody has taken a fun family picture with everybody with their head down, like they're posing.
Yeah. We're all going to have very sore necks in a few years from looking down at our phones. Also, get off my lawn. Right? I sound like that guy. I'm as guilty as anybody of it. 3-0 bottom of the 7th. Diamondbacks trying to sweep this series. Dodgers trying to come from behind late to make it a happy flight to San Francisco.
How about the people that if you don't respond right away, they get mad at you? You know, it's like, well, you don't like me that much? I mean, I texted you like a minute and a half ago.
You got a lot of people that don't like you right now.
Well,
that phone
true.
having been missing.
We'll have to put out a group apology.
Don't do that. No. Individualize it, Orel.
Okay.
Personalize it. Comes a 3-2. And Mathis strikes out swinging. Good stuff from Ross Stripling. Through with 7. Then the offense makes some late magic. Diamondbacks by 3 before the 8th inning. Let's check in with the guys in the studio with Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Coming up on Access Sportsnet Dodgers, I'll be joined by Jerry and Ned. We're going to put this 3-game set in the desert under the microscope. 2 at-bats left. Time to get them going. Joe, back to you.
All right, Cole. Good to have Cole along for the coverage this summer. Now, Smiley Grandal to lead off this inning, and something's going to have to drastically change against Patrick Corbin for the Dodgers to get some offense going. He struck out a career-high 11, riding that slider that's been nearly untouchable. The only base runner came on a kind of an excuse-me swing, bloop double from Matt Kemp.
It was on a slider, kind of a backdoor slider to the outer half. Matt was fooled and just kind of flicked it out there.
Grandal leads off the inning, fouls back the first pitch, which was a fastball, and it's 0-1. One and two from a guy who was a late bloomer as a baseball player. His best sport was basketball coming up. He was quarterback on the football team. Didn't even play baseball until his junior year. Grandal stays alive. And the only reason that he decided to give baseball a shot was because his basketball teammates were badgering him, saying, come on, just give it a try. And so half-heartedly he does. He shows up at tryouts wearing jeans without a glove. Somebody handed him a glove and said, go ahead, let's see if you can throw it. He strikes out Grandal. That's number 12 for him. First time he stood on the mound, he threw 80 miles per hour and didn't lose a game in his 2 years. Granted, it's high school in upstate New York, but 2 years as a pitcher. Went undefeated. Didn't have great grades. His college options were limited. Went the junior college route. Went to a place where he could play both baseball and basketball. Did that for a year. Moved to a different junior college where he focused on pitching. And 4 years after he joined the varsity team, 4 years after he started pitching, he was a second-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Angels. Angels traded him to Arizona for Dan Herron. That was at the deadline in 2010. Debuted in 2012 when he was 22 years old. Down low to Kemp, 2-0. And it looked like he was becoming one of the top young starters in the game, making the All-Star game at 23. In line to start opening day at 24 the next spring before his elbow gave out. 3-0 on Kemp. Gave out in the final spring tune-up in 2014. So, like so many guys, Tommy John missed all of 2014, first half of 2015. Really struggled his first full season back. Had a bounce back year last year. It was around 500, ERA around 4. But off to one heck of a start here in 2018. He walks Kemp. First free pass issued today.
A 3-0 count got the bullpen going down there for Arizona. And now we're actually going to get a visit. Archie Bradley, the hard-throwing righty, backing him up. Archie used in all high leverage situations, no matter from the 5th inning on, you could see him out there on the mound. In celebration of the great Jackie Robinson, join the Dodgers on Sunday, April 15th for the matchup with these Arizona Diamondbacks at 1:10. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica Jackie Robinson jersey presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Torey Lovullo coming out, and it looks like that walk may be the end of the day for Corbin. 98 pitches, more than half of them sliders. Looks like he's saying, I'm fine, I'm fine. Is Lovullo going to give him a chance to talk his way into staying, or is he just buying time? Just buying time. Career high 12 strikeouts for Patrick Corbin, and he'll get one heck of an ovation. His responsibility. Opening day starter, pitching like it so far this year. And he hands it off to one of the top relievers in the National League, and Archie Bradley.
Another guy who can strike a lot of people out. Great stuff. Corbin averaged a little over 8 strikeouts every 9 innings last year. Boy, 12 in 7 1/3. That's a bushel.
Only guy that reached against him was Kemp, the bloop double, and then the walk to chase him. And Logan Forsythe climbs in. 0 for 2 today, having grounded out to short twice. Strike one from Bradley. And even though Bradley's been dominant, it almost feels like a win that you got Corbin out of the game, and you'd rather face him. Anybody but Corbin at this point.
Guarantee you somebody in the dugout yelled, all right, here we go now, let's go. Got him out of there.
Quickly 0-2.
And the team clown, if they were verbalizing it, they'd say, yeah, we knocked him out. Now we'll get you, Bradley.
Who's the most likely to say that in this group?
Kike.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Kike.
Kemp at first, one out. Bradley to Forsythe, 0-2. Going up with it. He missed badly. A ball and 2 strikes.
Any way to get the tying run to the plate.
Good take, 2-2.
Logan Forsythe's first walk would be good if he could muster one here.
Sure would be good to get the tying run to the plate because it'd be Cody Bellinger. Not in the lineup today, but Dave Roberts ready to pull the trigger on using him as a pinch hitter with Farmer's spot due next. On a 2-2, Forsythe fouls it off.
Just nice to see a Dodger hitter up there battling with Corbin out there. It just felt like he was a hot knife through butter the way he was going through the lineup.
Probably feels nice to see something relatively straight for all those sliders Corbin threw. Another 2-2. Another fastball popped up though. Goldschmidt. Two outs in a 3-0 game, and Cody Bellinger to the plate. Having a nice series so far. Had the 4 hits on Monday night. Here in his return to the Phoenix area. Cody, though, prefers to stay at the team hotel when he's back in Phoenix playing the Diamondbacks. Takes outside, ball 1. Former Hamilton High School Husky in Chandler. 20 minutes from here. Fastball whistles away, and it's 2-0. Lots of friends and family in the park for him all series. Although there's always lots of family in the park for Cody, regardless of where they are. His mom Jennifer, his dad Clay. They travel around a lot supporting Cody. On the corner, 2-1.
That was a gift, I think. That ball looked like it was the same location that made the count 2-0. What's PitchCast say? Yeah. That feels not good when you're down by 3 and need runners.
There's ball 3. Jock Peterson on deck.
Dave Roberts unloading the thunder.
A 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
Right down Broadway.
Power against power with a man at first and 2 out in the 8th. Dodgers trying to break through. Here comes a payoff. Got him swinging. Dodgers get a base runner, but nothing to show for it. To the bottom of the 8th, down 3-0.
bottom of the 8th inning, down 3-0, and their first opponent of the season is also their next opponent. After this series, the Dodgers will head to San Francisco with a much-needed day off tomorrow, considering the way this series has gone. Friday, however, may be delayed because of rain. No starter has been announced for either Friday or Saturday's game. Saturday is supposed to be a day game. However, Dave Roberts saying on Sunday that does belong to Clayton Kershaw, guys.
Want to keep him on schedule, but not wanting to commit to anything else with a chance of that rain Friday. Bottom of the 8th, Ross Stripling, second inning of work. John Ryan Murphy, who homered last night, will pinch hit. Strike one. The home run for Murphy last night was his first one in 2 years since he was wearing a Minnesota Twins uniform in 2016. Nice looking curve for strike two. Pitcher's spot, Taylor Seager coming up for the Dodgers in the 9th. Barnes, Utley, Peterson all available for Dave Roberts. Likely against Brad Boxberger. Got him swinging.
Well, we left Glendale spring training, went to the Freeway Series, opened it up at home with the Giants, and then come back here to Arizona. I don't think this was the record we were expecting. We're on the brink of having a worse record down here, 3-0.
Mentioned it earlier, but the Dodgers haven't started a season with a record as bad as 2-5 since 1998. One away, Gerard Dyson set the tone for this one with his leadoff double in the bottom of the first inning and eventually scored. All 3 Arizona runs came in the first 3 innings. Bouncing ball, Cody Bellinger. He was in the game at first after pinch hitting last inning. That's moved Kike Hernandez to second, Logan Forsythe over to third, and Kyle Farmer's out. Two up, two down, and here's Ketel Marte. Strike one. Good to see Ross Stripling attacking here in this outing.
He seems like he has gotten stronger since the end of spring training. Getting stretched out now and really feeling good about his body and his arm. A season into his new body where he really got stronger in the lower half. Try and maintain his fastball and the sharpness on his breaking ball deep into his pitch count and into the year.
Back-to-back change-ups ahead of Marte, 1-2 now. Grandal wants it up. Stripling puts it there, and Marte takes it.
Marte flipped around to the left-hand batter's box. A switch hitter. Kind of a slasher from both sides.
Little dribbler. 1-2-3 inning for Ross Stripling. Can the Dodger offense wake up just in time? 9-1-2 coming up, down 3-0. thus far. Patrick Corbin, 7 1/3, just one bloop hit, and a career-high 12 strikeouts.
Slider was working. The fastball location on the outer half to right-handers. That window that pitch comes out of was working, and he was on his game the whole way. And once Arizona got him some runs, it looked like it was going to be all Diamondbacks. Dodgers now down to their last 3 outs because of this young man's performance today has made it look very easy to possibly sweep these Dodgers out of Arizona.
Brad Boxberger is the Diamondbacks closer. They use Archie Bradley in the highest leverage spots. They use Brad Boxberger in the traditional closer's role. In 2 appearances so far, he's not given up an earned run. Austin Barnes will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. Then it'll be Taylor and Seager. So they got the right guys coming up. They just haven't had the equation through 8 innings this afternoon. Fastball to the knees, strike 1. Interesting, Dave Roberts goes with Barnes, a right-handed hitter, instead of Utley, a left-handed hitter in this spot. One ball and 1 strike. He had seen Jock Peterson in the on-deck circle in the bottom of the 8th, had it extended that far, but the reason that it would have been Peterson there is that you feel best about him hitting one out, and he would have represented the tying run. Now you need base runners. Boxberger's 2-1. Perfectly placed, strike 2.
Tilt to the head from Austin Barnes because he was hoping that was a ball. That turns this at bat from trying to walk your way on to now you probably got to hit your way on.
On a 2-2. Buries that one. Full count.
The walk comes back into the equation. Just looking for anything to light a flame, give you some hope.
Payoff pitch, fouled off. Dodgers right now in danger of a 1-hit shutout at their expense for the 2nd time in the first 7 games. Be both of Alex Wood's starts.
They came into the game with the 2nd lowest on-base percentage in the National League. The Giants, where they're going after the game, the lowest.
Barnes continues to battle. Next pitch will be the 8th against Boxberger, trying to set the tone here in the 9th inning. Kickstart this Dodger offense. Another 3-2, and he checks his swing on what would have been ball 4. That thing tailing its way towards his knuckles.
Just unlucky right there for that ball to hit the bat. It wasn't a swing.
The 9th pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. It's a start.
Center fielder, Chris Taylor.
Now to the top of the order. Here's Taylor. Base runner away from getting the tying run to the plate. Strike 1. A good look at a fastball and fouled it back.
Taylor not backing down, attacking that first pitch.
Chops it foul, and he's in an 0-2 hole quickly. 0 for 3 today, 2 for 11 in the series. The ballpark where he's played some of his best games as a major leaguer. In a tough spot here. No balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Got him swinging.
Had him on a seesaw, started him out fastball, then went changeup, went back to what was supposed to be a high fastball. He kind of just rode it off the plate away.
Seager, like Taylor, 0 for 3 thus far. Down and away, not close, ball 1. The Dodgers a year ago, 5-13 when Seager failed to reach base. He's not reached yet in this one. Looks at a fastball that clips the corner and evens the count up.
With Boxberger's delivery, it sure looks like he's throwing harder than 92. That really quick arm when he decides to take the ball out of his glove and then get it moving towards home plate.
And then a changeup loops outside, and it's 2-1.
It's deceptive the way he kind of jumps at the hitter, and then all of a sudden that arm comes, and one time it's fast, and the next time it's a changeup.
Something they're calculating now, perceived velocity. A 2-1 pitch in the dirt, and he gets off with a glove, takes the double play out of order, and has Seager in a hitter's count.
3-1, the tying run on deck. It's going to have to be something right down the middle for Siegs to be swinging at it.
See if he can do some damage with it. Boxberger's 3-1. He pops it up. In center field, A.J. Pollock. And the Dodgers down to their final out.
The lightning rod at the plate. Chance to sweep the Dodgers, and Arizona Diamondback fans would love for Yasiel to be the last out.
Up to him to try and keep it moving. Kike Hernandez would bat if Puig could reach. Ball 1. 0 for 3 today, but who isn't? Matt Kemp, the only hit. Two and 0. Three balls and no strikes. Can the Dodgers do what the Diamondbacks did in the first game of this series? And with 2 outs, erase a 3-run 9th inning deficit. That's ball 4, and they bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Kike Hernandez.
Walks in game 1 hurt Kenley Jansen. Will they hurt Boxberger here?
Yeah, you're right. There's that symmetry too. It was back-to-back walks from Kenley Jansen that brought Chris Owings to the plate. He promptly tied it with a 3-run home run. Hernandez has that kind of pop. Mike Butcher out to talk with Boxberger.
The Dodgers haven't scored, but this is the most life they've shown the whole game as far as offensively, and it's been table set for them for free.
Really just one season as a closer for Boxberger in Tampa Bay in 2015. Had a huge year, but he's dealt with injuries the last 2 seasons. The stressful life of a closer. 2 on, 2 out, 9th inning. Hernandez, the last hope for the Dodgers, representing the tying run.
He gets a changeup up, and big thing will be trying to keep it fair.
At the knees with a fastball. Barnes started the inning with a walk. Puig extended it with a walk of his own. Here's the 0-1. Perfectly placed, the same spot. Couple of fastballs, nothing in 2.
Glove on the corner. Ball probably just barely on the corner.
Same spot, strike 3, and the Diamondbacks have swept the Dodgers. The second one-hit shutout that the Dodgers have been limited to in the first week of the season. They had 2 of those the last 2 years combined.
Very quiet, very frustrating, and it will be a long 2-hour flight to San Francisco, where the Dodgers will try and regroup emotionally and get after it with the Giants.
They start 2-5 for the first time in 20 years. Try and get it going against the rivals in the Bay. For Hershiser.